more that you're in tune with your body, the more that you know what you want. And for me, I mean, I'm writing a blog at the moment about love and what the heart deserves. And, you know, if you've not been given something or you're unaware, you know, with this manifestation, you know, if you want to manifest something, money, a good job or a loved one or whatever it is, if you've not had what you want, and you're supposed to manifest it from that feeling of how it feels like when you have it, what do you do? So, you know, if I look back at the past, this time last year, January, I was running a workshop and, you know, it was all about manifestation and loads of clients. There was about 25 clients and we're looking at manifestation. And it was easy for me to turn around and say, you know, about the money situation, you know, I've mastered that to some degree. I'm not a millionaire or anything, but, you know, if I want the money and I want something, I remember or feel like what it is like to have it, you know, and so like I can buy my little luxuries. The next minute I know I have my little luxuries. And you don't have to search or seek out and think, like when you deliver it, you like they gave me a letter, like when you put a letter in the post box, you don't think what time the postman's coming to pick it up or how it's going to get to that destination. You just send it out, and that's a bit like your manifestation. You just send it out. Don't stay focused on, well, how's it going to happen? You know, I had 2 clients in that workshop last year that I could feel straight away that they was thinking about, I want money, I need money, but they was thinking about, I want to win the lottery. And I said, there's 2 people in this group that is thinking about winning the lottery because that's going to solve their problems. And then I actually pinpointed who it was, and I said to them, look, out of the 25 people, I said, what is it that you want? Why do you want to win the lottery? And they said, well, it's the money so that I can afford my car. And one of the clients in particular, I said to her, well, have you actually ever sat in the car that you want? No. Okay. First of all, do you drive? Yes, I do drive. Okay, so I said to her, this make of car, what does it mean to you? What is it doing for you? What is it making you feel that if you have that particular make of car, it was a Mercedes at that time she wanted, how would that make you feel? You know, what's so special about that car? And we got into a conversation about how she said that owning a Mercedes for her, that particular car, would make her feel something special. For me, it's an Aston Martin and I'm working on it, who knows? And I'll have it when it's ready, thank you very much. And I also know that as well, that you have to surrender to, you have to wait till when it's there. You know, it's not for me to get worked up and say, well, when can I have it, or how it's going to materialise. So, okay, so that workshop, that's how it happened. And for a long time, you know, I wanted love, or I wanted something different from myself. But if you've never received it and you don't really know exactly what it is, how can you send out what you want? And as a psychic medium, I've been working with clients. I've had 2 in particular recently, that I had 2 clients. This one person that he came to me as a client, and his wife came through, and her heart chakra and her heart was, I thought it was going to burst with so much happiness that she was from spirit looking at her husband, and I could feel her love for him. I hadn't felt anything like that in my whole life. I never had. I could really feel it. I was absorbing it. And when we came to an end, she had said something to me, but he had said that she passed over only about 3 days ago. And I was like, wow, that was super fast. But she made a promise that she was going to come through in spirit, and she was going to tell him that she was here to say, you know, what it's like on the other side. And as she left me, as she turned around and she said to me, now that is what love feels like. And I just sat there, I was like, oh my God, how did you know I needed to know that? Of course, spirit knows, the universe knows, your soul knows what you need. But of course, the human me kept on getting in the way, trying to make things work all the time. To say today about the algorithms of the universe. You know, we know about algorithms of our computers, our phones. You know, if we're watching something or we're hearing something, thank you, they just said, when we are talking about something, a subject, and sometimes we then see it as an advert on our phone, or or Instagram, or whatever it is. It's very similar to how the universe works. So I just heard the universe, they're aware that where you are on your journey of what information you need at any given time. They're dropping that into you. They're dropping those words, and they're maneuvering the people into your life so that you get to hear the information. And we're talking about the spiritual information, the guidance, just like as with the soul trying to guide you, trying to move in the right direction. That's very similar to what they're doing. The universe are hearing your thoughts, because as we know, your thoughts send out vibrational wave. So depending on where you are in yourself, you'll find humans, they just said, humans who are going through difficult times, that when you end up speaking to, if you're in a negative mindset, or you're moaning or you're gossiping, you tend to connect to those people. And it's the other way around. When you are open to receiving information, that you want to know that there is something more to life than what we've been told or what we've been seeing for years, then like-minded people, like-minded souls, you start connecting to them, and you start hearing the information. So your ears sort of automatically sort of prick up to information that you need to hear. Okay, thank you. Okay, let me have a little look. Okay, so the information that you need to hear. Also the same, connecting to other like-minded souls. 2020 has been a real year of looking at the changes, moving forward in your life, what it is that you want. And there's been a wave of emotions, a wave of planetary movement, and how it's affected every single one. No one would have escaped 2020, let's put it that way. And it's been like, if you see yourself like the compass, it's almost like twisting you in whatever direction you need to be in to head in the direction that you need to go in. Okay, thank you. And what they're saying is your soul has been trying to guide you. So it's not that your soul is an exterior part of you. You are the soul's actually in your vessel that you see, feel and hear right now where you are. But it's like many who hear this may not have totally come on board or totally tuned into the fact that your soul is still trying to guide you, but some of you just don't hear. And I'm to blame as well, because I'm a human being as well. As our soul has almost like sent those breadcrumbs out on our footpath, on our journey, to sort of show us, to redirect us to what direction to head into. But if we don't have sometimes a magnifying glass or glasses on, or our wits about you, then how are you going to know what you're looking for? So by doing the work of tuning in, by doing the work of tuning yourself in, as in working with your psychic abilities, your gut feeling, your intuition, if you don't get them on board, if you don't start tuning them in, if you don't start working them as like in muscles, then it's going to be harder for you to actually see your clues. They just gave me the Cluedo, the game Cluedo, who was murdered in what room or whatever. I don't know why you're giving me that, but okay, that makes sense. I've got you. Someone's got a sense of humour and they're laughing on the other side. So they're trying to get, your soul is trying to give you clues. Your soul is trying to lead you down the right pathway. That your soul is trying to help you to live to your best, to live to your higher purpose, to fulfill your mission and why you're here. But it needs that help. It has to have that assistance from you first of all. Okay, thank you. It's a bit like driving a motor car, in the sense of learning about the gears, the brake, and getting into neutral, first, reverse, whatever. It's a bit like that. There's just such, you can't expect that a person gets into a car and puts the hand on the steering wheel and then moves about with the foot pedals and knows exactly how this vehicle's going to work. And it's a bit like yourself. Your soul goes into your vessel, your body, and it needs some assistance in, like, with yourself. It needs to help you to become more in tuned. Okay, so being aware of wanting to move forward, being aware of stretching yourself, being aware of wanting more is a good thing, but it's also about you becoming more in tuned, doing those meditations. No, they just said to me, we keep saying meditation, 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 and it's almost like saying, listening to your mother saying, eat your greens, don't forget that pea on the side, or have your vitamins and minerals. It's the same thing. It's with that meditation, it sort of takes that needle off the record sort of thing, and stops the mind overthinking and sort of allows you that time to think. They're very much aware that there must be a lot of different people how they're feeling right now. So, okay. And one of the biggest thing I was told, over the last couple of days was very much, I'm having my own human experience, of course I am, but they're very much trying to make us all aware at this time that, in this month of January and moving forward into February, it's about facing head on into your challenges and not running away from them, because this is a brilliant time to sort of let go of things for each and every one of us, myself included. What comes up for you, what's facing you in the face. It's about looking at that and just moving through it. It's not running away from. So it's not just, it's funny, yes, they show me the planet and on its axis and everything and how it's turned and where we are on the axis and stuff. But really now what's happening with this real awakening, the psychic abilities, or having that gut feeling more, or being so intuitive, or looking at working with that, is really so that, look, we've had all this going on with the planet, with the COVID and everything else. We've had changes going on. We've had governmental shifts, and oh, please don't tell me that now. There's going to be like a coup somewhere, and I don't even want to look where that is right now. But they're showing me that. That's the trouble when you sit next to a map. It's like it shouts that information. I sit next to a bookshelf, and all the books are calling me and saying, look, and they're giving me the download of the book. So all this has been happening throughout this whole year, especially, and we know I've said about timing, and we said about coding, and we said about, our souls are here at this particular time. We signed up to be here at this particular time so that our souls would learn something. Now, okay, thank you. Also, what they're saying to me is, thank you. Oh, goodness me. What they're showing me is, it's a bit like the soul seeds and the souls coming down all at the same time and position themselves within the earth, on the earth at any given time. And this is that time. So we all came into play roughly the same time. There's a few years here and there, but in give and taking ages and everything. But what happened is they're showing me that there's actually the souls, like the bodies coming down, and they're showing me as in, they look like the cloudy white, that sort of shape, and silvery, and they're showing me that the soul's coming into the bodies. This is what they're showing me right now, coming from universe and coming in and dropping in. And as they dropped in, the bodies were waiting. So the babies were being born at that particular time. Okay, just straight now. So there's individual babies. Okay, I also want to say there's souls that did come in and are here, come in together, have chosen to come in together, knowing this is the time, that this is the time the planet needs to be woken up. Okay. The planet set a time, the digits, the combination of this time for souls to come in, and they were guided into the individual bodies. They came in, they fitted in on many parts of the world, around the world globally. And the timing was inevitable and very important at that time, as the planet was on self-destruction mode to some degree. When we then tune in and there was a number and a digit that you came in on, your soul was positioned where it needed to be. More of the awakening right now of the planet. The individuals are becoming more known and more aware, being guided. Now is the time that the world is easier for you to have the information to come through. There has been many times through history, many have been destroyed and destroyed for their beliefs and not allowed to express. So now this is the timing where everyone can use their abilities to some degree. There is the channel, there are channels now where you have the social media where people can hear wherever you are in the world. Anne says she has travelled around the world and time travelled with her abilities, and many can do this now. Many who have this to some degree, there are many different levels, and they serve a purpose, and they are here and they know they are here to serve. They will then tune in more to other different planets at this time, and also to different parts of the globe. There are many projects, and there has been instilled to many who have been asleep to their information and knowledge of the abilities they have. When we say they have been awoken, this is where they have been in hibernation, and until life happens to them as individuals, then they are unaware. Those experiences really have woken them up. Many of you have the capabilities to bring this information forward and to work. This is the time where it is time to join together and to step forward. This is the time where the planets will be joined together as well. There are many of us here, we watch over and we look down at your planet to see how you are progressing. This year is a true awakening, but you do have a 2 to 4 year window of where there will be a rocky change. This is why we say it's important to awaken, to tune in, to be aware of your abilities. Then you can become together. There are more of you there. The time is so important that the souls came back at this time to allow us to move into 5D out of 3D. 3D, the very materialistic world, and also, not allowing ourselves to move into the sense there is another shape and form to the world than what we see. So at the moment of where everybody is, and the timing for this is to help all of us to move into the 5D. Now, listen, there will be many that will not move. There will be many that still will not be awoken. There will be a massive divide on your planet, within the globe, and that is to some degree it's going to happen. There are many souls that have not been here before or do not understand this, what we talk of awakening. There are many young souls who are not sure of why they're here or would not even entertain it and are very much in the 3D world. And those will serve their purpose to some degree. You are going to have that, and that is just how it is. But it's not for then us of those who are aware there may be something more, not maybe, but there are, that you can then choose and pick the direction that you wish to go to. You were never, you were never instructed to that you had to go down this pathway. You have free will. Every human being has free choice, free will. It is your individual free will whether you decide that this is what you wish to learn, to expand yourself, to grow, to work within that. And those who are, shall we say, are in the 5D dimension, in the sense of awoken, aware there is something more to life, who are aware of manifestation, who are aware of there are other things, that your soul does not die when you die. They are the ones that will then enable the earth to survive, and they are the ones that will go on to create the projects. So each and every one of you who have become aware of there is more to life than what they see, or have started quizzled, being aware there is much more, then you are on the right track. But then we would say we are biased, but we would still say, yes, you're on the right track. For those who are very close-minded, who do not see this, who do not believe in this, that's their pathway. There will be a divide, like a split. there will be none in the middle. It will be a big divide, but that is fine. This is nothing to be afraid of. But there will be more that are aware now. And because of how there is access to social media and what is happening now on your planet is easier. And also telepathically, that we know telepathy will be used a lot now by individuals. And those who have the psychic skills, who can then travel around the world, as Anne has done today, as she travelled around the world. I sort of, as a medium, you sort of, you go to training school, a bit like the Harry Potter thing, you get to learn sort of things from other consultants and other teachers and stuff. And this is what's come up for me many times. I've had a client who's sitting in front of me, and I might have a great aunt, and I have to use this because this is what's popping into my head. I might have a great aunt on the other side, and she might have, her nephew's here or whatever he is connection-wise, but there's a family connection, okay? Because also, there has to be some sort of connection with that individual. I've had others that sort of said, can you find this body? And I'm like, you're not connected to them. Oh no, but I'm interested. I'm like, but I can't connect you with them because it's not that, that energy stream. But so this situation where, this great aunt or whatever, she's on the other side, and she might go back a couple of years, well, about 100 years, I just heard. And I actually had this case with this lovely guy that was sitting in front of me, and I was actually working elsewhere, not privately, whatever. And this lovely guy was sitting in front of me. Now, I knew that his choice of partner would not be a woman, shall we say. And the great aunt on the other side was saying, quite, not, well, would I say rudely, but she was sort of saying, I can't wait for you to meet that right woman, blah, blah, blah. And she wanted him to meet a woman. And he sat there, he looked really confused, and he said to me, do you have the right person? I went, yeah, look, listen. She's coming all the way back from Victorian times. In her mind, she would want you to meet a woman and to have children. Now that's her opinion. This is her personality. This is how she works, okay? So who you are today, we know that's not what you want. But from your great aunt who's come forward to assist you, this is what she's saying that she thinks will make the whole world better. So it's very much, when they were here, our loved ones on this planet, they have a personality. That personality goes with them. That's what I have coming through as a medium. Their personality comes through with them, and how they would think and how they would see the world. Now, good question. They don't always, shall we say, wise up on the other side. They're still going through the information until they come back into their body again and go through other bits. Okay, thank you. They said there's a bit like an amnesia. So, so the soul comes in, it lives its lifetime, and, we might not have, the way they live their life, we maybe not agree with it. And then when they go on the other side, do they become wiser? No, they're going to go through all their life. They're going to recall information, look through it, sort of sift through it and see if they would have done things differently or what lessons they would have learned from it. It doesn't mean they come back wiser at all. And then when they do come back, thank you, they just said it's the birth canal. It creates the amnesia. So they don't necessarily always remember what they had learnt from that previous life, but they will sit there and they will go through, their previous life. They'll look through it and see the journey that they were on that lifetime, but it does not mean they come back any wiser. Now, with the deja vu feelings, there is that tapping back into a footprint of their lifetime they would have lived beforehand, and they could have, and then tapping into that, they then are aware that they've been here and through past life regression and everything. But yes, good question. They don't always come back wiser. No, they don't. Thank you, I've just heard. And they don't always give the best advice either. It's just depending on what they want to share with you and what they want to say to you. So that's... I always, when I started training as a medium, I was like, what do I do when I have someone who doesn't speak English that comes through? I don't know if anyone ever watched the Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy. It's an old program back in the day, and they had a thing called Babblefish. And I often joke, and I think I've got one of those little Babblefish that's a translator in my ear. So they always speak to me, and I always hear them. And it comes, I have had a couple of clients who are Greek, and I hear in a language and I'm like, I think this is Greek or something because I can't understand it. And then I said, could you just speak to me in English so it's easy? And then they're like, oh, Yes, of course. And they speak to me in English. So spirit does find a way to talk to me. It doesn't matter what country they're coming from or whatever. And it's the same with animals. You know, how do I hear the animals? But it's true. I mean, the conversation I had with the client, where was she the other day? I think Los Angeles. She travelled around the world working with animals, and she works at the zoo, San Diego Zoo, that's where she lives. And I said to her about cats that she's got, and she said, yeah, and about this dog, she'd rescued a dog, and I was talking to the dog, communicating telepathically with this dog. I don't know dog language. Well, they just said I do, but hey. And I was talking to the dog and having this conversation, but I also said, I've got this bird that's coming forward. I think it's a parakeet or a cockatoo. And I said, it's saying that it really loves you and it misses you. And she said, I don't have a bird. And I went, you do, because this bird's coming through. It wasn't in spirit, but the bird was in San Diego Zoo. And when the zoo was open and she worked there, she used to say hello to it every day and have a communication, talking to the bird. And the bird brought me to the heart centre and sort of saying, I'm really missing you. So, hey, yeah, when you're working with spirit, it doesn't matter what country, what place in the world, what language they speak, yeah, I can still hear it. And there's this shift that's occurring within the planet, especially, I mean, yes, globally, but also where I was today in the UK, I could really sort of feel there's a real sort of shift occurring. And it's very much about that shifting of who you are, where you are in your life, and wanting to make those changes. Now, also very, very much so focusing on, and what they told me was about your foundation. So very much attached to your root chakra, your base chakra, you getting that sorted out at the base of your spine, needing to look at that, needing to look at what's going on for you as an individual. Now, if you think of where your base chakra would be, it's sort of between your legs at the base of the spine, going down in that sort of region. And if you think of that part of that region of your body, and if you think of like your pelvis and how it supports you and your legs and moving forward, they gave a lot of that to me today. That is sort of information. And also said about that support, sort of where you are in your life. So what they mean is, it's really a time of knowing what it is that you want and moving forward, but it's about the foundations of moving forward into something new. So it's really about, like, if you're moving home or wanting to make a change, this is really about looking at this time in letting go of the old home. So that would mean packing up things, putting into boxes, clearing shelving, going through books. And I've had a lot of that at the moment, of clearing shelves, moving things, starting to put things into boxes, clearing out stuff that no longer serves you. And also, this also goes about what it is now, what sort of commitment you want in relationships, of moving forward into where you're going in your life. It's really about serving what happens for you, your needs, where you are in yourself. If this means that moving forward means going to another country, this means moving forward, letting go of some ties in the UK, and then moving or wherever it is around the world, then it's really about getting them sorted out now. Because it feels like you're going to have that energy. It's like a switch has gone, and it's like that energy, that shifted of saying, right, okay, I want change, I want it now, I'm going to move forward. And that's how it feels very much. Energy really shifted over the last couple of days. I feel, for myself, I really felt it yesterday, moving forward, and the light changing. And if we think, and they said, if we go to nature and what's occurring in nature now. So us based in the UK, it's winter time and we've got a few spring bulbs that are coming up and we're moving into spring. I was sitting there listening to the birds, of course, and it was all about then rebuilding, building up their foundation, building up their homes, creating a home for themselves, that stability, making themselves feel safe and secure to move forward. And that's very much about looking ahead, moving forward, but making yourself feel safe and secure. It's about what it is that you need right now. To do, hopefully you have a pen and paper, and if you don't, you don't. It's just one of those things. Surrender to it. Have that pen and paper if you have it, and I just want you to take yourself back just over 2020, okay? And even it's like words, these are your words, these are your bullet points, these are for you, because it seems to be very important that Spirit is saying they just want you to look at writing it down so that you're aware of where you are in yourself. Okay, so if we look back at 2020, okay, I want you to look back at 2020, and I want you just to jot a few words down that you don't have to create sentences because you know what those words are attached to. But what is it that you have, okay, as I just said, what has been the sticking points of 2020 for you? Has it been work, relationships, health, whatever it is? What are the sticking points? What has kept you stuck in 2020? I know some of you have actually moved out of 2020 now into the different energy, but looking back at the last year, what has been those sticking points that have caused aggro, problems? Is it people, situations? You know, if you haven't got a pen and paper, you can do it on a phone, in your notes, whatever it is. Just look at what those sticking points were in 2020, just this last year. What was those sticking points? That what was frustrating? I know some of you already moved out of them actually. But something that kept you stuck in 2020. And see how that feels. And again, it's just words, bullet point words. Just those words. Because you know the energy around those particular words. Okay. One more minute. Because you can also do this later as well. Good. Okay. Right. Okay. And then they want you to look at, have you got rid of that stuckness, that frustration? Have they disappeared now? Have you let go of them? Are you working on them? Are they still there? Is it still a hassle now when we're in January? And again, it's the odd one or two words, just so that you're aware. And they just said, I just asked them, and what is it that you're willing to surrender? What is it that you're willing to surrender from that year so that you don't bring forward into January 2020? Now they know January, February is going to be the time of letting go. What is it that you want to let go? Let them work for you. What is it that you're willing to surrender? Because they're listening to you. They're trying to assist you. But sometimes the internal words get stuck in your mind, and as if you've forgotten or don't know, or if you don't talk about it, it's easy to sweep under the carpet. So just have a little look at what it is that you're willing to surrender, you're willing to let go now. Right, okay, they just said this. Also, looking at that, if there is anything, an irritation or a frustration around that, or mixed feelings around that, okay, thank you. If there is somebody in your life, or there is a situation or a job or whatever it is that's going on for you that you're still stuck with, but it is a bit frustrating or annoying, I want you to almost, as if you had a mirror in front of you, to turn it around on itself. Like, what purpose is it serving? Why is it still there? What purpose is it serving? Whatever comes to mind, doesn't overthink, but what purpose is it serving? Why are you still allowing it to be in your life? What purpose is it serving? If there's areas of your life that you feel that you can't do anything about. I had a job about 4 years ago, hated it, kept on saying I can't leave it, I need the money to pay my bills. and then something happened, it was taken out of my hands, I lost my job. Thank God. But just have a little look at it. What purpose could it still be serving? Okay. And then they just said, if we were like a genie and you could rub the magic lamp or be the fairy godmother that she is, they just said, if I could give you all a wish each, what would it be that you'd want to take into the new year? What would you want to change in your life? What would it that you'd want for yourself in the new year? What is it? Is it health, home, love, property, material things, a new car? Whatever it is, send it out there. It's from a fairy godmother and I can hear you right now. Okay, I know what I got to do next. So just think about it, what it is that would bring you so much joy. Feel your heart that makes it nice and warm. Feel excited, something to look forward to. And just imagine if that was there for you now. What would that feel like if you had it in your life right now? Amazing. Just like that story, just like I told you about that beautiful woman in spirit who stepped forward and made me feel how she felt. She loved her husband so much, I could feel it in my heart. My heart felt it was about to burst. And then I was told that's how love feels. And until that moment, I really didn't know how love felt. So for yourselves, what is it that you want for yourselves? Fairy godmother is going to listen. Have a little look, see what it is that makes you feel wonderful, special.